This is without doubt one of the worst motherfucking comedies I've ever seen in my life. Worse than Rob Schneider's shit. Worse than Scary Movie 5. Scary Movie 5 is a piece of shit, and that's how bad this movie is. Just Scary Movie 5 is a piece of shit that had pool cleaning fucking. Not people as pool cleaners fucking. Actual pool cleaning equipment fucking. And this movie is worse. This type of movie where your balls are on fire and you appreciate it because you're not watching the film. This type of movie where prisoners would rather get fucking electrocuted than watch this fucking flick. This type of movie where the joke's pounding you so goddamn much, it doesn't fucking put you to the ground. It buries your ass alive. Then did you back up to bury you under a fucking volcano while it's erupting. And it dumbfounds me that this cast, because they knew the producer, or maybe they had some naked photos that they didn't want out, or I guess from what I understand, a lot of them knew the producer. Other people, I don't know what the fuck, maybe they made a bet with other people in Hollywood to be in the shittiest movie ever. Two questions I'm sure people have. One, why did you see this film? Because I've been in the mood to see these kind of movies where it's a comedy anthology. It's not done in the style of these, because these are good, and these have like fake commercials and fake trailers, and maybe one's done in the 50s style sci-fi movie, one's done like a Enter the Dragon spoof. By the time you see this, I will have reviewed these. This is a good one. This I really enjoyed. Underrated gem. This really is a bunch of short comedy mini movies put together in a very lackadaisical wraparound. And if you see in the US, it's Dennis Quaid and Greg Kinnear, and Dennis Quaid is pitching these shitty ideas to Greg Kinnear, who's a big time guy. If you see the overseas, it's a bunch of stupid fucking kids trying to find an illegal movie online called Movie 43. And Fisher Stevens is in that wraparound. And the famous people. I don't give a fuck if this was your buddy who produced it. You should burn his number. You should burn his ass with a flamethrower. And you should read scripts before you take them. People like, who are all the famous people? Let's see. Hugh Jackman, Kate Winslet, Sean William Scott, Johnny Knoxville, Chloë Grace Moretz, Richard fucking Gere, Terrence Howard, Halle Berry, Liev Schreiber, Naomi Watts, Elizabeth Banks, Chris Pratt, Anna Faris. Who am I missing? Emma Stone, Kate Bosworth, Uma Thurman, Kristen Bell, Justin Long, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who was McLovin in Superbad, Gerard Butler as a leprechaun. Yeah, you hear me. Snooki as herself. Josh Duhamel, who's in some of the Transformer movies. And some of the people involved in directing some of these. Elizabeth Banks directed one. James Gunn wrote and directed one. Steve Carr, who did Next Friday, which I enjoy. Brett Ratner did one. I think the Farrelly brothers had a hand in this stuff. Of course, the last decent film they did was fucking Me, Myself, and Irene in 2000. Griffin Dunne, the star of American Wolf in London, one of the stars of it, he directed one of these. Farrelly brothers had a hand in producing it. This film is so unfunny, so stupid, so much of a waste of fucking all these people involved in this. It's insane. It is so fucking insane. Some actors, including George Clooney, declined to take part. Others, such as Richard Gere, attempted to get out of the project. Well, here's what you do. You say no until you read the script, and then you say fuck no. Peter Farrelly says co-directed by him, and a bunch of other names. And the reason I'm looking up on Wikipedia is to get each director. You have to wrap around with Dennis Quaid and Craig Chandler. I'm like, come on, Dennis Quaid, you're a better fucking actor to be pitching these shitty ideas to Greg Kinnear, and at one point you say, does Greg Kinnear ask, how'd you get here? And Dennis Quaid says, I sucked someone off. I sucked the guard off. So you have Dennis Quaid talking about sucking cock. I love my friend Mike OCP. He's a bit Dennis Quaid fan. I am too, but please see this film with the fucking... Thankfully, I saw this for free. You have the first segment, The Catch, with Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet. The only thing is Kate Winslet goes on a blind date with Hugh Jackman, and she's like, how come no one has grabbed this guy? He's good looking, he's wearing a scarf. He takes his scarf off, he has a pair of balls under his chin. Literally, like a pair of balls under his chin. That's the whole thing for like 10, 15 minutes. As no one else reacts to it except Kate Winslet. She's horrified. And I'm like, Hugh Jackman, do you wonder why your career isn't shit when you're not doing Wolverine? Because you're doing stupid shit like Real Steel or Peter Pan or this shit. You said yes to a fucking script where you sat there with a pair of fucking balls under your chin. And Kate Winslet, is this like an Academy Award winner? The fuck are you? What is it with these people like Al Pacino doing Jack and Jill trying to hit on a female Adam Sandler? Do these actors, like, they get older and they're like, they just say, fuck it. Fuck it, I want to ruin my career. Like, do they just get that urge? Like, what's the deal? It ends with this couple comes by who knows Hugh Jackman. They have a baby. He was like, oh, and puts the balls on top of the baby's head. And Kate Winslet is freaking out. The couple wants a picture with Hugh and Kate. Hugh gets close. Kate freaks out and leaves. Boom. And it makes you go, I guess the joke is, oh my god, he's got balls under his chin. This is almost the equivalent of the Idiocracy movie where the people in that future were laughing at a movie called Fart, and it was an ass on screen farting. It really is. Like, people actually wrote and directed this. That was directed by Peter Farrelly, one of the Farrelly brothers. Long way from Dumb and Dumber. Homeschooled, which this was one of the worst ones. This was just mean-spirited and ugly. Liev Schreiber and Naomi Watts are the worst parents ever who homeschool their teen boy and just abuse the shit out of him by calling him gay, tying him to a fucking flagpole, and having shit on him, telling him to say you suck dick, while filming with a cell phone. The mom, played by Naomi Watts, has incest, kissing her son because it's the first kiss like a high school would be, because, oh, we want to give him the high school experience even though he's homeschooled. And then even the dad, Liev Schreiber, hits on his own son. I read a review, no, I saw a review, I forget who it was, but they said that even That's My Boy with Adam Sandler, like, knew that incest was wrong. So there you go. It's worse than That's My Boy with Adam fucking Sandler. I'm like, how is this even supposed to be funny? I'm not a guy that gets offended by shit. This is just the dad telling his son, oh, look, he's got weird pubes, while the son's taking a shower. And if you want, this son is like a teenager, like a 16, 15, 17-year-old. Mom giving her own son his first kiss. And I'm like, what the fuck is Naomi Watts doing? Again, do they read this shit? Like, this movie actually got made? All these movies in the history that didn't get made. Sylvester Stallone doing a horror movie on a train with Roland Emmerich back in the day. The Alien 3 that me and many others would have wanted. With Hicks and Bishop and fighting aliens. Like, all these scripts, they don't get made. All the other scripts that don't get made. Yet this movie got made and released. And they just haze him and bully him. And so, of course, at the end, he's fucked up. So his girlfriend is a doll on a mop. And the parents are fine with it. It's just so hateful and horrible. Just me. I don't get what the joke is. I guess it's just, look at the shocking stuff they said. That's automatically funny. No, when you watch movies like this, there's some shocking stuff, but they actually put some effort into the writing. There's actually a reason. It's actually fun. It's actually funny. This is just lazy. The Proposition. This is by Steve Carr, the guy who directed Next Friday, which I liked. But he also did, want to make sure, Dr. Dolittle 2 and Paul Blart Mall Cop. And he still gets jobs. Anna Faris and Chris Pratt, yes, before Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt wants to get married. And Anna Faris is a girl who wants Chris Pratt to poop on her. That's the whole thing. She says, I want you to poop on me. And Chris Pratt doesn't know what to do, tells with his friends. He eats a lot of tacos, gets on the bed, there's a lot of fart noises, and one thing leads to another, they're outside, and Pratt gets hit by a car, and there's a bunch of shit on the windshield. Anna Faris goes to him. He's fine other than that. And she's like, oh, you did that for me? Like, you did? And they kiss while a bunch of noises of farts ring my ears. All on the soundtrack. And I just... This has a 4.3. Which is way too fucking high. I don't know if I'll upload... I don't know when I'll upload this, but as I'm recording this, I'm doing the Dolph Lundgren marathon. A film I like called Sweepers. There's some issues, but it's a pretty decent action film. Has a lower rating than a movie where Hugh Jackman puts a pair of chin balls on a baby's head and Anna Faris wants Chris Pratt to poop on her. And that has a higher rating than a film like Sweepers with Dolph Lundgren. That shows how fucking stupid things are nowadays, man. So Griffin Dunne, the co-star American Wolf in London, he's in one of the segments in this. Actually, this here is the Doctor. Can't see it, but with Michelle Pfeiffer, Peter Horton. Griffin Dunne directs Veronica. It's just Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother, and Emma Stone saying weird random shit. Like, you sucked off that hobo, and she goes, he was wizard. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? How about I whiz on your face? I just hear, Cucamonga, cucaracha, fucking sticker. There you go. I just said random shit. Is that fucking funny? There's Lola Rabbit. I fucked her. Oh, and her bunny ears were over my face. And the fluffy went fa fa, and I went and I went goosh goosh. Oh my god, that's shocking and weird and stupid. Is that fucking funny? That's the writing in this fucking movie. With all of these directors and all of these writers. That's the writing in this fucking movie. And there's really nothing to that. It's just them talking while the guy's working in a grocery store and they say weird shit and they have a weird conversation that's explicit. And she goes and the customers go, you gotta go after her. Then we get to I, Babe, directed by Stephen Brill, which, if that name sounds familiar, if you remember from my Adam Sandler marathon where I reviewed all of his movies, he made Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, The Do-Over, Sandy Wexler. Sadly, all better than this movie. I actually don't mind Mr. Deeds, and The Do-Over I didn't mind. I reviewed all of the Adam Sandler films for those interested. I don't know if I did a playlist, but they're all on there. Maybe I will. Well, by the time you see this, I'll do a playlist if you're interested. So, I mean, Adam Sandler actually made some fun movies, and even his bad ones are still better than this. I'm serious. This is one of the worst comedies I've seen. Again, it's not hyperbole. If you think I'm lying, watch it yourself, and then you tell me. The seltzer bottle, what are the motherfucking movies, like Meet the Spartans and Epic Movie, I don't even remember. Maybe one day I'll travel through that shit valley. But I don't remember them. I know I'm sure they're as bad as this. But as for movies I remember, this is easily one of the worst comedies I've seen. But I, Babe, a newly released product, the I, Babe, which is a life-size, realistic replica of a nude woman which functions as an MP3 player. And the whole Richard Gere is the boss. T. Bosworth is in there. And really all this is, well, there's a fan by her vagina. And literally this dialogue is like, oh, it's her in her vag. Yeah, it's down there. Then the other person, there's a fan in her vagina. Like literally say the same thing 3 or 4 times. Do you get it? Vag. Oh, you don't get it? Oh, it's down there. You don't get it? Oh, the fan's in her vagina. And people are sticking their fingers or their dicks and getting them munched off. That's like the whole thing. And Richard Gere's just sitting in a chair. Just looking. I'm like... I like Richard Gere. I like the Mothman Prophecies. That's a good one. I think he's a good actor. I like to see him in better stuff. But why are you doing this? Don't give a fuck if your producer's a friend of yours. Just say no. There's nothing to say about that. There's nothing to it. It's just a joke about, hey, you get it? There's a big fan in her vagina, and people are cutting their dicks off from it. That's the joke for like 10 minutes. And it's not written well. It's not filmed. There's nothing to it. So then some guy named James Duffy did Superhero Speed Dating, where Robin and Batman, played by Justin Long and Jason Sudeikis, Robin's speed dating, Batman is just a cop blocker and a cocksucker. Uma Thurman's Lois Lane. That's funny, and Uma Thurman's complaining about, oh yeah, Superman, he watches me and he jerks off, his jizz is like a shotgun blast. I'm like, wow, so you're stealing from Kevin Smith. See, Mallrats, when that line came out in Mallrats, that was funny because there's more to it, to that movie. It was out of the blue. It was like, what? But there was an actual conversation with Jason Lee and... was it Jason London? I always forget. Jeremy London, Jason London. I always forget. And Jason... That's when Kevin Smith could write. So you just stole a joke from Kevin Smith's filmography. Like a shotgun blast is Jesus. Robin saves Supergirl, but then it's not Supergirl, it's this fat Riddler, and Jason Sudeikis got talked down by Wonder Woman. Kristen Bell played Supergirl. Uma Thurman played Lois Lane. Really, the gist of it is, oh look, Batman is saying some crazy shit like talking about Supergirl's privates being like carpet. Or a cornfield, I should say, like a cornfield. Oh, Batman said some crazy shit. That's funny. It's about as funny as pissing in the fucking wind. Or more like pissing in a fucking wind tunnel. Chloë Grace Moretz. What the hell was that one called? Middle School Date. This was directed by Elizabeth Banks. Chloë Grace Moretz, she has her period. She doesn't know what to do. The other kid is freaking out because he doesn't know what to do. Christopher Mintz-Plasse is the older brother of the boy. He's like, let's get a sponge. Let's get this. The dad comes in as Patrik Warburton. He's like, hey, pretty much does what he does in every movie. Hey, how's it going? My name's Patrik Warburton. Oh, huh? The dad comes in. He's freaking out. Him and Patrik Warburton ready to get in a fight. Chloë Grace Moretz says, shut up. Just take me home, Dad. And then Patrik Warburton asks one of his kids to pull his finger, lets out a big fart, and then they watch TV and a commercial where a woman's in the ocean, a shark kills her, and then Tampax commercial going, leak proof. Because you get it? She had her period. She was leaking in the water, and the shark smelled the blood, so ate her ass. Figuratively and literally. I will be honest. This is not good, but for some reason I could tolerate it just because it was so absurd. And I like the actors. It was the Gerard Butler as a leprechaun and Johnny Knoxville and Sean William Scott had captured him because they want gold coins. They just shit kicked out of him. Gerard Butler saying a lot of nasty stuff. And then there's another Gerard Butler. Apparently that's supposed to be Colin Farrell, but he said no. So it was two Gerard Butlers done with a special effect. And Johnny Knoxville, Sean William Scott beat them. They're, shoot them. They're bloodied up. They get the gold coins. And then there's a fairy who will suck cock for gold coins. I can't even say it's good. It's just one of those things where I'm like, it did one of those, It was so absurd. I kind of had fun with it. I like Johnny Knoxville. I don't mind Sean William Scott. Gerard Butler is definitely a weird... I can't even call it good. I can't even call it good. It's just compared to Anna Faris wanting Chris Pratt to poop on her and parents abusing their kid to the point he goes out with a mop, or Dennis Quaid talking about sucking dick, or Hugh Jackman with a pair of balls under his chin. I guess, an absurd Gerard Butler's a leprechaun and Nacho Sean William Scott beating the shit out of him. I'd rather watch that than any of the Leprechaun movies with Warwick Davis, I'll say that much. It was, again, it's not good. It's just one of those, I'm like, I could tolerate it. I guess if you saw it on YouTube, be like, whatever. I mean, it didn't make me as mad as the others, and that was the one directed by Brett Ratner. I gotta be truthful, that was the ones like, okay. Truth or Dare, Halle Berry and this guy, Stephen Merchant, they go on a date in a restaurant, and she's like, I'm tired of these first dates, they're always typical, let's play a game of Truth or Dare. And the dares get crazier and crazier. She dares him to grab a guy's ass, he dares her to blow out this blind kid's candles on her birthday, she dares him to dance in the room like a stripper. He dares her to dip her titty in some, I feel like guacamole or something. And of course, fake effects for her tits. She dares him to get a tattoo of a dick coming. He dares her to get Botox. She dares him to get surgery to look like an Asian person. And then it ends with she psychs him out, thinking they're not going to get laid. But then she opens up the door, come and get it, pulls open her shirt, fake titties about this big each. And then it ends. I'm like, I like Halle Berry. I think Kidnap is still a very, very underrated film. But why is she doing stuff like this, or Gothica, or Catwoman? And that says a lot when Catwoman is a better thing she did than this movie. Victory's Glory. Terrence Howard is a basketball coach in the 50s, and he's telling them, you guys are going to do well. You're battling a white team. You're black, they're white. This ain't hockey. And when I saw that in a trailer, because I do remember seeing the trailer, that did get a chuckle out of me. But it's as funny as that. Because when you stretch that out to like 5, 6, 7 minutes, again, it's like I said at the beginning. They take a joke and they pound it to you're buried under fucking alive. Then they dig you up and they bury you under a fucking volcano. It's just him saying and repeating the same stuff. You're black, they're white. You're black, they're white. You're black. How big is your dick? Why? Because you're black. With chalk on a board. You're black. I did it! Get some better writing! Rocky Russo and Jeremy Sosenko? That's why a film like this works. To this day. Like The Son of the Invisible Man. Pretty funny. Good writing. The Arsenio bit at the beginning. There's barely any dialogue in that, and it's better fucking writing than your goddamn BS. And then it goes to credits, and you think it's over. Then in the middle of credits, there's another story. This one by James Gunn, called Beazle. This horribly done animated cat who loves his owner, Josh Duhamel, who's in some of the Transformers movies. He was in this film called Fire with Fire with Bruce Willis and Rosario Dawson. Josh Duhamel is with Elizabeth Banks. And the animated cat doesn't like that. Because the animated cat, he's in love with his owner, Josh Duhamel. So you get scenes where Elizabeth Banks finds the cat jerking off to pitch of Josh Duhamel, while visualizing face-fucking and skull-fucking Josh Duhamel. And then there's a point where this cat gives a massive piss on Elizabeth Banks. When Josh Duhamel and Elizabeth Banks are having sex, the cat, crudely drawn animated cat, having a toothbrush up its ass and fucking a teddy bear, and I go, what the fuck? What the fuck? God. The fucking paper over my fucking thing. And it ends with it tries to kill her with a car. She beats the shit out of it, of course. But people think it's just an innocent cat. Well, animated cat. So the kids in the birthday party beat the shit out of her. Duhamel has the cat while the cat's thinking of French kissing and tonguing and French tongue fucking Josh Duhamel's mouth. The end. And again, I just... Rotten Tomatoes gave it 4%. So, not 0. Because there are movies, much better movies, that have 0%. This has a 4%? Who the fuck gave this a positive review? Because, okay, this has a 4% Rotten Tomatoes. That's way too fucking high. These are films that get 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ballistic, X vs. Ever. Not a great movie, but it's miles better than this fucking flick. Police Academy 4. I liked it, much better than this flick. Highlander 2: The Quickening. I like that film. A lot better than this. A Low Down Dirty Shame has 0%. Low Down Dirty Shame. Very fun, underrated Teen and Ivory Wayans flick. That has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but this has a 4%. Once again, Rotten Tomatoes are full of shit. It amazes me that all these famous people are in this piece of shit. 4.3 on IMDb when adult veteran film like Sweepers, and there's other movies too that if I do some research and find they need a lower rating than this, like Watchers 2, and like, but this film should have a 0 on every fucking front. Waste of talent, waste of writing, waste of film, waste of everything, man. But if you think it's hyperbole, you think it's over the top, watch it for yourself. And then call me in the morning after your panic attack. Anime cats pissing and fucking a teddy bear with a hairbrush up its ass. Hugh Jackman with a pair of balls under his chin. Richard Gere looking at naked eye-babe women who munches dicks in her van vajazz. Fucking Anna Faris want Chris Pratt to shit on her. Parents being abusive twats, tying their kid to a fucking flat ball with shit on it. Oh my god. My fucking god. I saw another movie which I'll review next called Inappropriate Comedy. It came out at the same time. It's fucking horrible too. It's kind of in this vein. That has a lower rating than this, and I can understand why. It's a horrible movie. But with that, you expect it to be horrible because it's fucking Rob Schneider is in it. And it's directed by the guy who did ShamWow. The TV pitch mentor of ShamWow. This, though, James Gunn. He directed one of them. Farrelly, who used to be worth the shit with Dumb and Dumber. And Me, Myself, and Irene is pretty decent. Actors like Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry and Richard Gere and Dennis Quaid. Again, the Knoxville showing of Scott Butler was so stupid and absurd. I kind of got out of it. Like a Okay. Alright. But I'll end it here. It's already 35 minutes long. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. So stay tuned next time as I continue this little mini marathon of these kind of comedies with inappropriate comedy. Another, it's like two good ones and now these pieces of shit. And they can't do comedy nowadays. They think that just raunch automatically is funny. There actually has to be talent, wit, and actual humor behind the raunch. This is one of those movies that just thinks, it's raunchy. Now it's funny, right? There's a piss. That's funny, right? That'd be more like, hey, I'm going to take a shit on the floor and I'm going to show it and you don't laugh. That's what this movie is. If these raunch automatically is funny, shock, it's automatically funny. Oh my god! No, there has to be more to it. That's what comedy is. And I'm not even a funny guy, and I know that. Give me a fucking break. And so many people involved with this movie didn't know that, didn't realize that. It's fucking insane. Absolutely insane. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Fuck this bullshit.